Hey guys, here we're going to go over a good shoulder mobility routine. This can be used as rehab work or just to warm up your shoulders before an upper body day at the gym. First thing we're going to hit are a couple shoulder cars. This can be done seated, kneeling, or standing. We just want to go through the whole shoulder workspace, see its full range of motion, and then we're going to hit a couple stretches and come back to it, and hopefully we gain a little more mobility out of it. So you see, I'm going to bring my palm up, bicep to the ear, and start reaching back and rotating the shoulder. Then I'm going to reverse it coming back around. Let's hit 3 on each side, and each set get a little more intense, create a little more tension throughout the shoulder as you do it. Next up, we're going to hit a shoulder stretch here. So we're going to hit our shoulder sleeper stretch. This is hitting the capsule tissue, which is the deepest muscle tissue in our shoulder. So we're going to sit in this stretch for 2 minutes. And then we're going to do a PAILs contraction where our top hand acts as a block, and we're going to build up force pushing into that top hand. Hold that top contraction for about 10 seconds, and then try to pull that hand to the ground off that top hand. Hold that for another 10 seconds, and then bring the hand back on and sink into that stretch a little deeper. You can do this twice after that 2-minute stretch. Give yourself about 15 to 20 seconds in between the buildups and make sure to ramp up slowly. Don't just jump up to that top effort. I like to make that first effort a little less intense and then try to ramp up to a higher intensity on the second. A couple keys here when setting up: make sure our shoulders are stacked on top of each other, our bottom elbow is in line with the shoulder, and we've got a 90-degree or slightly less bend in our elbow. When in the stretch, make sure the back of our bottom shoulder isn't coming off to the ground. If it is, puff your chest through a little bit more. Next up, we're going to go into an external rotation stretch. You can use a dowel. I used a foam roller here because that's what I had. We're going to go face down, putting that hand on top of the foam roller block or holding onto the dowel, and then sink that elbow down in line with the shoulder. We should feel a stretch in the front half of the shoulder here. Once again, we're going to sink into this stretch for about 2 minutes, just relaxing here, allowing that shoulder to relax. And then we're going to do that PAILs contraction where I'm pressing my hand into the foam roller here. If we're holding that dowel, we're driving the dowel through the ground. And then relax after that contraction, allowing that elbow to drop a little bit and sink into that stretch a little bit deeper. After opening up the capsule tissue of our shoulder, we're going to go back and hit another shoulder car on each side. Hopefully we can gain a little more range of motion. And this one we're going to do at a higher intensity. So we're going to go slower, create more tension in our shoulder, and we can hold a little bit of weight. So here I have an ankle strap around my wrist to create a little more tension, move a little more weight to fatigue a little bit more. Go really slow throughout this and push that range of motion. With the higher intensity, we'll just do one each side, but take it nice and slow. So here it's taking me about 15 to 20 seconds just to get half of it done, and then I reverse it coming back around. Keep that core tight so our ribs don't raise up and our chest doesn't twist. Now, after our shoulder car, we're going to work on just some shoulder axial rotations. So we're just going to work on rotating the shoulder joint. So here I've got my arm straight out to the side, and then I'm going to rotate forward and backwards, making the movement come from my shoulder and not at my wrist. As I rotate back and get to that end range, I'm going to squeeze and create tension and squeeze for a 3 count. You should feel the back of your shoulder tighten up, and then doing the same thing when we rotate forward, and don't let your shoulders dump forward. Keep the shoulders pinched back. We've got 3 sets of this, and we're going to pair the next 2 exercises with this and go as a little circuit here. Each time you do these, you can do them at a slightly different angle. So the first time I had my arm straight out to the side. Here I've got my hand straight out in front. The different angles are going to hit a little different parts of the tissue and feel a little bit different. Another angle you could hit is on a 45-degree angle out. Once again, make sure we get to that end range and squeeze that muscle, creating tension throughout the shoulder. The second exercise in our superset here are prone IYT liftoffs. So here I've got my hands in the I position. I'm going to pinch my shoulder blades back and raise those hands up as high as I can and hold for a 3 count. Really squeezing here and trying to push that range of motion. It's both a mobility and a strengthening exercise here. So I've got 3 reps in the I position, then I move to the Y position and follow that same setup. Squeeze the shoulder blades and lift those hands up as high as I can. I'll get 3 reps here with a 3-second squeeze and then move to the T's for another 3 reps in a 3-second squeeze. If you're getting really high off the ground, what you can do is you can add a light weight in your hand. I'd suggest max of 2.5 to create a little more tension, a little more strengthening here. Now you see me hitting the T's here. You should be getting the hands at the highest point in this position. And for the last exercise in the superset, we've got external rotation liftoff. So I've got my elbow in line with my shoulder. I'm going to keep the elbow pinned to the ground and then raise my hand up as high as I can, rotating through the shoulder, giving a 3-second squeeze. So trying to use that range of motion that we gained earlier during our external rotation stretch. I'm going to do 3 3-second holds and then get the other arm. So now in our last superset, we're going to put everything together. So here we got a Y liftoff with an axial rotation. So just like before, we're going to go one arm at a time, put our one arm in the Y position, pinch the shoulder blades back, raise that hand up as high as you can, and then we're going to rotate that fist and shoulder into internal rotation, and then rotate it into external rotation. Getting 3 reps here with a 3-second squeeze on each rotation. So rotate in, hold for 3 seconds, and then rotate out and hold for 3 seconds, and do this 3 times.